Hello everybody and welcome to another live stream. It's been a while. It's been a little while, but thank you for joining me. No camera today, as you can probably tell by the lack of the camera. You can't see my face because I'm in full goblin mode. I'm a fully unshaven, grotesque goblin-like individual right now wearing my hoodie, and I didn't want to be on camera. And also, this is going to be a quick little stream today anyway, because we're going to really just get this background out as quick as possible. You see, this background here took a long time to do. It took many hours because of all the detail. But we're not gonna do a detailed background. We're gonna do some trash. So let me just check a couple of things. Let me make sure people can hear me, guys. How is the volume? How is the volume of my voice compared to the music? Am I overly loud? Am I overly quiet? Just let me know, and I'll make sure that's all set up properly before I get into it. And like I say, it's going to be a pretty damn quick stream today. Just in and out, really pokey, really quick. And we'll see how fast we can get done. Let me see. How are we doing for volume, guys? I realize there's a big old delay. Why don't I just go ahead, actually, and I'll show you what we're doing. So we've got this shot here of somebody putting on their boots. So I've animated that. I just animated that a minute ago. Did those frames there. It's not great animation. It's a lot of reuse, a lot of copying, pasting. Basically, it's the same 2 or 3 frames, just lots of tweening going on. All right, cool. People like the sound. That is excellent. Oh, Gregor says potentially the music's maybe too low. Well, I'm going to put it up a touch, but I want to go careful because I have had it too loud in the past. So, alright, just literally that's like a 5% increase on the music. Let me just move it a little bit more. Alright guys, let me know if that's too loud or still too quiet or whatever. But anyway, like I said, a quick stream today, no camera, just in and out, so I can't waste any more time. So basically, we've got this shot of him here putting on his boots, and this is, if you can believe it, this high quality illustration I've done here behind that's flashing. Oh, flashing. That's going to be the background that we're going to draw. Basically, a close-up of a dirty floor. Some stinking floorboards. That's the only thing that you're going to see me draw today. So I've got my rough already. Let me just solo that layer here. I got my rough, and I'm going to go here and grab the line tool and just quickly kind of draw in the floor, the skirting board. What do you call it? The wainscoting. That's like a really old-fashioned term for it. The wainscoting. I don't think people call it that anymore. I never did. It's a skirting board. I'm going to draw in a skirting board. It's basically like 3 straight lines. That's good enough. It's good enough. Although, I will say, actually, maybe we'll have... Maybe make it a little bit taller. And like that. Maybe have a little bit more detail. So there's like a ridge and then going to be a line below it. So we're going to make this background look as good as we can, as quickly as we can. I won't do any detail for the back wall. So that's basically all I need to do for the actual, the room part of it. I could do floorboards with lines, but I think we're going to wait to clean it up in Photoshop, and I'll draw the floorboards in that way in Photoshop. So that's good for that. And I'll make it the right color, so it's going to be this kind of section of the wall that we see here. Oh, do I need to? There's like a sort of bit of detail there in the wall. It's like a, I don't know what you call that, kind of a bit of decoration in the middle of the wall, like a bit of carpentry. Are we going to have that in our close-up? We probably need it, but I can't be bothered to draw it. So I'm just going to make the wainscoting a bit taller. There I go, saying wainscoting again. And then hopefully we'll get away without doing that. So I'll make it the right kind of color. It's that sort of beigey color there. And then the skirting board's just going to be a little bit darker. Just put a bit of shadow there. You don't need to make colors in your backgrounds completely consistent. If, you know, the color of your floor in one shot is a certain shade of blue, as long as you get, you know, 90% the right shade for the next shot. People aren't going to tell. It's only when it, you know, really starts to stray from shot to shot that I think it becomes distracting. And that's good for the, that's just going to be basically the core of the background. So I'm just going to delete these lines here like that. Okay, and now we want to draw kind of the corner of the bed, because you can see he's sitting on the bed putting his boots on. And again, we're going to go back to the trusty line tool and just draw something that looks like the foot of the bed or the bedpost or whatever you want. So we're not really going to see most of it because of the way that his body is basically occluding most of what we're seeing. And the perspective's kind of all over the shot here. The horizon is kind of too low, I think. Probably it should probably be up like that a bit more, the background. Because of the way that the bed is sat, but I don't care that much about perspective. You guys are going to know what I'm intending. It won't be too confusing. It's such a quick shot too. It's like a second as well. So let me see. Something there. Let me see. It's like a bit of the bed. I don't know what you call that. The kind of strut that the holds up the mattress, and then the mattress would be a little bit of detail there, and then we'll draw the mattress kind of bulging out, and then I'm gonna have the blanket or something kind of draped over like that. Basically not going to see it because it's such a quick background we're doing. So I'm just going to go in now, and I want to add a little detail because this is sort of the worn bottom of the bed post. I figure we can kind of add a bit of extra wear and tear here. So I'll quickly fill that in with color, and we want to grab sort of preset colors here from a background I've already done, so I can easily just sort of swatch it and it'll probably do the trick. We want like a lighter tone now for the kind of highlight that sits on top of the background. Just throw that in there, and I should probably come by and see what's up with the chat. Let me see. Pleasant Lee says, backgrounds in cartoons always bothered me when I was a kid. I'd see how different they are to the characters and got annoyed, but I know why, those poor animators. Yeah, you're not going to usually draw as much detail in the background as you are in the characters, or vice versa. Typically, if you're going to have detail, it'll be in the background. It'll be on the plate that doesn't move, being the background plate. But yeah, I mean, it never really bothered me as a kid. I actually liked just seeing rich, detailed backgrounds. I always liked the backgrounds in Disney movies, which is kind of part of the inspiration for this, in a way. The way I'm doing this background here, the kind of lineless style. That doesn't look good. But, I mean, it's not as good as a Disney movie background, because I just crapped it out in a couple hours on Flash and Photoshop. That's the mattress there. And then we want the darker kind of tone for the part of the bed that's going to be more in shadow. And so down here, I actually don't know if I like what I've done here. Fuck that. This looks weird to me. I'll just fill this in with the same color as the rest of it, and we'll add, you know, tons of nice shading and stuff on Photoshop, and it'll be fine. So we can delete those lines, and we've got a little gap there. I'll have to quickly fill in, but that looks pretty good to me. So we've got our corner of the bed, we've got the plate behind it, and I'll keep those separate so it's going to be easier to color in. And then the final bit of detail is this box over here that's kind of filled with like comedy weapons. I tried to refrain. I was going to have, you know, a boxing glove on a stick. What other comedy weapons are there? I don't know, like you could have a crossbow with a boxing glove on the end of the arrow, but famous comedy weapons. I mean, we've got the fishing hook already over here, the fishing line, a baseball bat with nails in it. I refrained from doing that. We've got a net, which is kind of comedy anyway. But, I mean, I didn't go too nuts. I wanted to keep it a little bit subtle. I thought the sink plunger was probably crazy enough. So we're going to kind of echo the corner of this box over here to make sure that it feels like we're in the same space. So I want to draw that box in, basically. So let's move that frame back one. And I'll just draw here on an onion skin layer. And I'll try to... I kind of have to draw it I don't know what the heck this is. That's supposed to be like a rubber glove or something hanging out of the box, but I think that was supposed to be a grey boot. It just looks bizarre. I don't think I'm going to draw that. I'm going to leave that out because I don't like it. And let's just draw in the corner of the box here. So just really quick. We're not going to be slavish to any kind of high quality standards here. This is just Quickie, like I say. We're trying to get this sucker done. Got to move on. Got to get this cartoon finished. It's got to be finished this month. It's going to be finished this month. I don't know if that means it'll be out on my YouTube channel this month. That's a different story. But I at least want to be able to write a line under it this month and say, hey, everyone, it's done. I can move on, do other things, you know, whatever. Take a W. Alright, let me see what people are saying in the chat. Terranium says, isn't the newest Blender more noob friendly? It is, indeed. If anyone's seen on Twitter or on Patreon, I've been talking a little bit about my experience with Blender lately. I've been trying Blender out and trying to get good with backgrounds in Blender, or good with modeling in Blender so that I can do some backgrounds. But I'm not quite at that level yet. It's still faster for me to draw it than it is to 3D model it. So at least for the time being, going to be doing it, I was going to say the old-fashioned way, but what we're doing isn't that old-fashioned, you know, vector art and then finished in Photoshop. That's not exactly the way the old masters did it, but it's just faster for me still to draw it, at least in digital 2D, so that's the way I'll be doing it. And I'll just draw the broom hanging out, because the broom's kind of, just to give you something. You know what, actually? I'm going to copy and paste... No, I won't. I was going to say I could copy and paste the broom from another image, but I won't be that lazy. I'll at least draw the broom kind of fresh. So how did I draw the broom? It's like a little puff of bristles, and then there's a little bit more on top. Something like this. Alright, that's good for the broom. Okay, so let me get this mess colored in real quick. And then basically we've got all our kind of the crappy basic version of all of our background assets drawn, and I'll bring it into Photoshop and we can get the sucker colored in. So let's color in that broom handle there, a nice brown color, and the bristles on the broom, or the, what would you call them? Just the brush of the broom, that part of it. Kind of a wheaty straw color, and then the dark part of the box is going to be that darker brown. Let me see, there's like a sort of the inside of the box is a bit brighter, so we'll do that with that. There's another dark side of the box down here. This part underneath should probably be even darker, and I'll come back to the chat in just a moment, guys, and see what's going on in the chat. Have you seen how King is doing backgrounds for his new animation? He does basic 3D models for everything and then draws over them. Makes them so insanely detailed. No, I have a little bit of knowledge about that because I have seen his work before. So I did know there was some combination of 2D and 3D styles like that. I mean, you're right, that does take a hell of a lot of patience, man. But good on him. Good on him for being able to do that and not go completely crazy. Although maybe he has gone crazy, I don't know. But yeah, good on him. His work is fantastic, by the way. If you're not familiar with King, you should check him out. I think I embarrassingly called him Otter King last time, like I was thinking of Otacon from Metal Gear Solid, but it's like a reference to otaku, so at least I assume it's a reference to otaku, his name, so that's why it would be probably pronounced King. Anyway, let's get rid of these lines and just color in that little missing bit there. And now I think basically we're good to go. Get rid of that, those little rough lines, and I'm just going to copy and paste this into a new file and render out as PNGs with transparency so that we can actually get our own separate layers. There is a way you can easily kind of go from Adobe Animate to Adobe Photoshop and still keep everything in layers. I don't know how to do that because I'm an idiot, so that's not what we're going to be doing today. We're just going to literally just render it out as 3 different frames. I will call it like that. Okay, and it will be a little bit over 1080p. I'm not going to future-proof it and make it 4K like a crazy person, but something like that, 100 DPI and 32 bits so that we preserve the alpha layer. Export that out. And let me see what people are saying in the chat. Oh, hey, Gregor Scott. Thank you for coming by. Gregor Scott is going to leave. Hope you had a good time. Hey, Tamagotchi says, Harry, serious question. Uh-oh. I don't know if I want a serious question. I'm going to VidCon. If you pull out of Patreon, can you honor the pledge to add your name to this and Kickstart? Yeah, I can do that for you, Thomas. I can do that. If you maybe... if you can send me a message on Patreon, just remind me before you leave us. That's absolutely no problem, dude. I will never not do that deliberately. It would only be because I forget. But if I have a Patreon message in my Patreon inbox, which I'll see every time I check it, it's less likely that I will forget. Because nobody particularly sends me messages through the Patreon app. So I see my old messages every time I log in, which is good. Because that way I won't forget. It'll be a good reminder. So... that'll be great. Anyway, let me open up my layers here. We'll get them all in one file, and I can quickly do some detail and get this background done. Okay. Where did they go? Where are the images that I just thought I rendered out? Where are they? I thought, okay, there they are. So we should have them in Photoshop. I gave them a really great title. I called them Havagajivagababa. Oh, there they are. Why did I not see them? What's wrong with me? Alright, there we are. They have such great one-of-a-kind names. Alright, so these are my images. Let's copy and paste the bed. A high-quality drawing of a bed here into the shot. Paste in place. Yeah, the perspective... the bed is way too big. The wall should be higher up. The perspective is not great, but I kind of don't care. I can maybe raise the floor just a little bit. Maybe raise this too. Just want to see that skirting board there under the bed. All right, I'm gonna raise it just a little bit there. Alright, so I'll finish off the floor here, make that a solid color so I have a good, nice kind of clean area, and I'll show you how I start putting the detail in. So let's turn off these layers. Actually, I'll keep them on for the time being. First of all, we're going to try to make it so that there's some sort of floorboard action going on, because that's going to look good. So let me just turn off these layers. We'll go to our reference one here that I did yesterday, and I'll get a nice dark brown for the floor. Make it even a little bit darker, just so we really get some kind of differentiation there. And I'm going to drop in some quick lines, just quick and dirty lines, to kind of give me some floorboard definition. Way less... something like that. Let me zoom out, in fact, just a little bit. And while I'm doing that, let me see if I can answer anything from the chat. Paddy Olivares says, what up, Harry? I have just found out about your channel. Highly impressed with the content you bring today, comparing to today's standards. Hey, thank you, Paddy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Big time. Okay. Something like this. You know what? Perspective-wise, things are a bit funky here. If I erase that part of the bed, it might look more like there's some... Yeah, this is why you should probably pay attention to perspective, kids, because if you just eyeball it, it can turn out horribly wrong. But that's okay. This is, like I said, a Quickie background. Real Quickie background. Okay, so that's enough, I think, in terms of floorboard definition. That's all I need. That suits my purposes, if you can believe it. I know it looks terrible, but stick with me. It will hopefully look as good as this one. It'll be obviously a lot less detail because it's a close-up, but I think it'll be, you know, kind of on par. And if it's terrible, then, well, you know, that's okay too, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a more interesting brush. Which one do I like? Man, where is it? You never find the brushes. Kyle's Ultimate Pastel Palooza. Thank you, Kyle, for your excellent brushes. I use them very often. And we're just going to put in some sort of wood grain type stuff. Nothing crazy, but just sort of, I just want to hint at the idea that these floorboards are made of wood and not made of melted Lego pieces poured directly onto the floor. They're not made of old bacon. It's made of wood, believe it or not, and that's what we're going to try and denote here with our pathetic attempt at putting in some detail. So basically, I'm just drawing some kind of cartoony knots of wood, and that's just so that the boys and girls at home know that this is supposed to be a floor made of wood, which is obviously going to be extremely immersive for the viewer. Once they realize the floor is made of wood, their immersion will just be ramped up to 100%. They'll forget they're watching a cartoon, and they'll tell all their friends about this incredible experience they can find online with this great cartoon where the floors look so real you could reach out and lick them. Okay, let me see what's going on in the chat, because I'm just talking into nothing. Hey, Lemore Studios, thank you for coming by. Hey, Beanlight. Beanlight says, one thing I'm still unsure about is the focal length when working with 3D. Oh, yeah, man. I totally don't understand that side of things. Focal... Anything to do with camera lenses sort of is confusing to me. I understand that, you know, they affect the way that the image looks. You know, the more widescreen it is, or more wide angle, I should say it is, the more image you sort of get in the camera frame, but it starts to warp it. But I'm still not... I still just need to play with the settings to actually pick something I like. I can't easily go, you know, oh, I want a 35mm lens, or I want a 16mm lens. I actually have to try them all out. So let me just clean up that floorboard a little bit. And okay, well, we're kind of at the point now where I think that's enough detailing on the wood in terms of making it darker. Now I think I want to bring in a couple of kind of highlights almost, just to make the areas where the floorboards sort of start and end, just so that they pop a little bit more. I'm going to add a couple of highlights in there. And again, we're using that pastel brush still, because it adds that kind of extra grit, that kind of extra texture to the wood, makes it look almost like an actual painting that we did with traditional media, not just a crappy digital thing that I threw together in a couple of minutes on a live stream while my other half talks to my stepmom on the phone, and I wait for my dinner, because that's what's really going on. I'm waiting for Joyce to make some kind of dinner, because I'm hungry, and she's like wrapped up on the phone. She's not being allowed she's not being able to get free, so I'm really just thinking about dinner. I needed something to take my mind off it, so I came to you guys with a live stream. All right, well, that is starting to look like floorboards, I think, a little bit. That's fine, I think. I think that does the job. Let me see what's happening in the chat. Geranium says, I've spent 2 full work days and I'm not done yet on a 100 frame animation. Well, that's intense, man. 100 frames is a lot of work. Rarely do I do more than 20 frames a day, so to do 100 frames is like, you're looking at several days work there, easy, basically a full week. So that's a nightmare. Godspeed on that one. That does not sound particularly fun. Alright, so I think those floorboards are starting to look like floorboards. That's good with me. I'm going to be lazy now and select the burn tool and come in and just want to darken some of those. In fact, we're going to go with the shadows range, and I'm just going to make sure that the areas that I want dark really are dark. And we'll put a big shadow under the bed, don't worry, because obviously it's going to be casting a shadow. I'm just sort of doing like a baseline layer here of texture on the floor. And that looks, I think, pretty good. I'm happy enough with that. in terms of sort of suggesting where the floorboards begin and end. And we're going to go come in with the dodge tool and just do a little bit more. A lot of people make fun of the dodge tool and the burn tool because it's kind of the lazy way of creating texture and blending colors. And I can't defend my use of the dodge tool, but it just gets the job done. I don't know what to tell you. I can't feel too bad about it. It just gets things done kind of quickly. So, alright, so we're going to come in now, and I'm just going to try to create... This is so straight, you see here. I want to just kind of create a little bit of... a little bit more sort of sense that these are old wooden boards coming up against the side of the wall here. And of course, you know, they're going to fall just a millimeter short of the wall. That way we're going to actually see a little bit more of the skirting board. I feel like that just makes it look a little better. And so that's pretty good. Just something like that. And now we're going to do the same thing we basically have already done, but we're going to do it with the skirting board. So this is before we've added any kind of real shading to it. We're still doing very flat areas of color. It's just kind of trying to add texture. This is what I would call a texture pass, where we're adding grit and grain and kind of values to the parts of the background that we don't want to feel completely smooth and flat. This is a dirty, grubby, smelly old room that's been, you know, lived in for 30 years or so, and I just want it to feel like it has a bit of color and a bit of texture to it. And then we'll go in and add a little bit more of a lighting sort of pass to it later on. What I should do is two things. First of all, I should say hello to Figment Panda, who is in the chat, good friend of the channel and a generous long-time supporter of your boy. So I'm going to say hi to her, and then I'm going to hit save because I haven't been saving yet, and we're going to save Hajjaf, which is the name of the file, and there we go. I think that's saved. Cool. Alrighty, so let's now, I'm just going to add, basically make it a little darker than that, just some schmutz and some filth along the bottom here. I mean, if you look at if you take care of your home like I take care of my home, you're gonna have some dings and some scratches and some crap at the bottom of the walls. Actually, I went and did some chores today at my mum's house. I went and said hi to my mum, and I had to carry a ladder into the front garden, and I hate it. I hate moving things inside, moving big things, because you always ding up the sides of the walls, and I hate that. You know, I hate these permanent marks being left on the wall. Oh, they're not permanent, you can paint over them. But if you damage the actual carpentry, if you damage the door frame, I always feel really bad about that. So I was trying my best not to scrape and fuck up her door, but definitely didn't get away completely blemish free. So sorry about that, Mum. Okay, let's see now. We want to add in just a little bit more of the schmutz just along there, along that kind of seam. And I'm going to come in and sort of, looks a bit, that's a little bit too messy in places. I'm just going to even that up a little bit. And I think it will help. Remember, we're still not really doing lighting yet, but I'm just going to add kind of a little highlight at the top of the top there. Where are we here? Something like that, just to add kind of like it's being hit by a little bit of light. Okay, all right, that's good. So now the wall behind it is just going to be basically a big old crappy ugly wall, and we're going to grab just some texture from, I don't know, around here, around there. And you know, the thing about backgrounds is they shouldn't catch too much of your attention. If they're catching your attention and you're not focusing on the action, they're not really serving their purpose. So I know that this is a very low contrast image you're looking at here. There's, you know, originally I had the dartboard black and white, and I took down the kind of the colors. I took down the contrast, I should say, and made the dartboard more of a brown and beige. If anyone's ever seen the Plinkett review of Star Trek Insurrection, with the constant mentions of browns and beige, that might be familiar to them. But yeah, the brown and beige is because I wanted a kind of low contrast background that didn't pull too much of your attention into any particular spot, because I'm trying to kind of create this. It gives you a sense of the time and place and a location for things to be unfolding in, but we're not really getting a sense of we're not really having our eyes pulled away from looking at the important stuff, which is the action. So I'm definitely going to have a kind of a vignette effect on this background where, you know, there's more light in the middle of the shot and it's darker towards the outside, but I'm not quite going to get stuck into that yet. What I will do actually now at this point, because I think it's time I can get away with it. I was going to say I was going to draw a drop shadow under the box and under the bed, but I actually don't think I want to do that now. I'm gonna come back to that in a bit. What I will do is I'm gonna get the polygon tool. Warning, no pixels are selected. Great. Gonna get the polygon tool here and just try and do a little bit of a kind of a highlight. The top of the skirting board there to separate it a little bit more. That's pretty good. I think I'm happy with that. So I think what I want to do now is just a bit more detail in the wall. Actually, I'm going to do that on a separate layer. And what we're going to do is a dirty, great big crack in the wall. I tried to refrain from making this live stream adult rated, but already we have big visible displays of crack. So I'm sorry about that. Good tip for doing cracks, guys. I've been drawing cracks my whole life. And a good tip for drawing cracks is just draw a big old dirty crack. Don't worry about anything. Just get it in there. It could be completely random. Have it split off into little areas. I like it. You know, when I'm drawing a crack, let me tell you guys, I like it when it does this. I like it when it kind of can't make its mind up, and it has like a little tiny bit. It's sort of hang on. Let me draw this good for you. I like it when a crack is going in one direction, splits off into two directions briefly, and then joins back. I love that. That's my crack. Okay, so that's, I think, a good crack. We'll put another one just here in the corner. Just kind of peering in like he wants to hang out. He's just coming in. He's like, hey guys. I heard the cracks were tolerated around here, so I've come in. So that, okay, I know what you're thinking. That's not a particularly great looking set of cracks, but this is where the majesty comes in. We'll get to it in fact just a moment. I'm just gonna draw a couple of little divots in the wall because I love drawing these little guys. The shame is we're probably gonna blur all of this at the end and make it out of focus anyway, so it's not really gonna be that visible. But just put a couple of little holes in the wall. Now what we want to do, and this is going to make the cracks really pop out, and this is what's going to sell them. You want to get a highlight, get a lighter color, and you want to go in there and you want to just hit, like, depending on where the light's coming from, the top left or the top right. So you just want to hit under, you know, if the light's coming from above, obviously you're going to hit under the crack. You see that? See the way that's starting now? Starting now to actually make it look like it's really there. That's the power of a highlight, a carefully placed highlight. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to follow the crack around completely, but put a little bit on the opposite side too here under these little holes, and they look like little pock marks or something in the wall. And something like that. And that, I was going to say that's enough, but we still have to do quite a bit more. So that's kind of it's gonna sell the viewing audience on the impression that the wall is cracked, I hope. Okay. Alright, that's good. So, okay. I don't know what that bit's doing there. That can go away. Okay, so that is pretty good. Actually, it's so bright around here, we're going to need to punch up that highlight color a little bit. Come back there. And a little bit dark there, maybe. So just erase a tiny bit of that. Okay, and that, I think, is it's a subtle crack. It's not particularly extreme. In fact, we could almost duplicate that layer. And that's now too dark. Too dark for me. Whoa, what's going on here? How do I move the layer? There we go. And I just take it away a little bit. In fact, probably might just do a little bit of a blur effect. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that being the level of crack detail that we have in this background. All right, so next up, we're gonna work on the box. Yeah, the box. And hopefully get it done fairly quickly, and then we're gonna do maybe either the bed or the drop shadows underneath the box and the bed, because remember we've got to make sure that they look kind of rooted in the scene and that there's some sort of shading happening underneath them. First things first, we're gonna probably try to. I'm gonna detail the broom. I think first of all, let's just get a kind of a darker version of that broom color, and the light is coming from above. We're saying so. We kind of want to make it so that the broom has some kind of shadow at the bottom. Come on, Harry. Come on, Harry. Oh, I swear by this tree, we'll go dancing when we finish this broom. I'll wear a dress and eat barrels of cress. Okay, so that's fine for the shading on the broom. Just a smooth brown tube. That's what you came here for. Smooth brown tubes. Let me see what's going on in the comments. All the crack puns in the chat. Paining me no end. Good, I'm glad to hear it, Terranium. Hey, Naughty Tunes, thank you for coming by. Naughty Tunes says, I'm working on an animation background while listening to this. You poor man. Well, there we go. We can share in each other's pain. So, I'm going to draw little lines here to make it look like there's some sort of wood grain here. Basically, when in doubt, wood grain it out. Just add as much wood grain as you can possibly stomach, and you will have a fantastic Walt Disney grade background in no time. That's good. That looks good. The other dirty trick that we're going to use here is we're actually going to get the dodge tool because I'm lazy, and I'm going to put in a little bit. Oh no, it doesn't look good, Harry. Let's make it look a bit better. We're going to use just a brighter tone here, and just make sure that there's a bit of texture there in the broom. Alrighty, so that's good. Now we want to do the same. Well, not exactly the same. We're not going to add wood grain, but we want to add some kind of shading to this guy. Do I have a nice? What's the? I was going to say, what color did I use for this one? I guess I used something like that. So let me see. It's 9 p.m. It's 9 p.m. now in the UK. And I'm wondering if Joyce has actually been on the phone for 2 hours. That wouldn't be her call, by the way. It would be that would be the fault of the person that called her up. But I'm going to see. Honey, you still on the phone? Joyce? Okay, she doesn't hear me. I guess she's probably still on the phone. I'm just gonna shout every so often, if you can bear with me, guys. It's not very professional, but you know, I just wanna know where I'm at. I wanna know what time I'm eating tonight, because it's 9 p.m. and I'm getting hungry. So this is looking very bland. This is looking bad. So this, it's just, I know, yes, it's blended into the background. I'm aware of that. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. We're gonna go with the burn tool here and select midtones. Pump it up a bit. There we go. Something like that is going to be a bit better for the broom. And we'll get that dark tone now, and I'll just quickly kind of put in some streaky bits. So something like this, just to make it look like it's made of lots of Lots of bristles, lots of hairs. And then add some more in. Kind of bulging out there, I guess. Alrighty. Pleasantly says 9 p.m. is late for a dinner. It is! It is. This is my point. I am aware of this fact. That's why I'm antsy about it. Because if Joyce has had a bad day, man. I mean, I've been working all day. I can't really help her with anything. But she burnt herself on the oven pretty badly. I almost thought it was hospital trip bad, but she dealt with it. It's just a big old burn on the arm. And the freezer is not closing because it needs defrosting. So she spent the whole day wringing out wet towels trying to defrost the freezer. And just other various things. Just having a bad day. And I'm up here drawing brooms, like the true hunter provider, the alpha male that I am. My wife is getting destroyed and burnt and frozen. She's basically fighting elemental beasts, and I'm up here kind of just drawing, scribbling little things. And talking merrily to myself, and not really talking enough to you guys, so I should come to the chat and see what's up. But that is probably good enough for the broom. That's all it needs to be. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible. Look at like the back of the broom doesn't even meet up with the front of the broom. See, it's all like out of whack, if you know what I mean. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna erase just a little bit of it, and hopefully that'll look a bit better. But there we go. Okay. Rusty Brusher says, "Hey Harry, heard you were working with Blender. How is it?" I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. I got no complaints about Blender so far. I think it's a fantastic piece of software, and I'm amazed that it's free. It's like crazy that it's free. That it's crazy that it's free. I feel like they don't need to give it away for free at all. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna come in here with the old burn tool again and attack Joyce with the burn tool. No, she's been burnt enough already. I'm just going to darken it a little bit there, maybe with the shadows this time to pump up that color a little bit. What we doing here? There we go. Something like that. I don't know. That looks bad. That looks bad. Harry, will you just do something already? This is taking like way too long. Darken, just... Alright, whatever. That's good. That's fine. Okay, so that's the broom out of the way. Now the other kind of part of it is that we want to... I'm just going to add some kind of wood grain to the box here. Because it's supposed to be made of wood. The edges are too pointy and sharp, but, you know, whatever. People will probably get that it's made of wood. If we add in just a little bit of... This is a little bit of something. You really don't see anything of it in this background, but just want to add, like, something just to... Here's something, and then we're going to have some streaks kind of going across. Whatever, that's good, that's good. Okay, so now I want a little bit of shading inside the box, just something like that. And then maybe for sort of where the broom is casting a bit of shadow. And that's helped pick out a little bit of that detail in the box. I'm gonna go in and just subtly, if I turn off that, just remove the corners, because it's a little bit too perfect looking, a little bit too crisp, and it's supposed to be, you know, a worn old wooden box. So just to make it look a little bit less perfect, we're just gonna chip away. It's a little bit more work to do it on the sort of interior edges. I can do that a little bit actually with grabbing this color here, but I'll probably end up blurring the background because stuff like this is kind of out of focus. But that helps just a tiny bit. And now we'll go in with the just the dodge tool there and just lazily just hit some of those edges with highlights, just so. That's not good. We don't want that. We want shadows. Yeah. Okay, well that sort of helps. That I feel is gonna kind of create the look of the box being a bit more worn away, we should say. Okay, so there's still no drop shadows underneath anything. The perspective is still all wrong. Maybe the box could go up a little bit, just a little bit, just to help that perspective fix itself a tiny bit. The next big thing is the bed. So let's try and work on the bed a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to go back to a dark brown, and we want the pastel brush. Where you at? Down there. Cool. And I'm sorry, I've been very, very lax today with the chat. I've not been answering too many questions, but let me see. Arch Hippie says, stop nitpicking. This is witchcraft to me. Are you talking about my nitpicking or other people's nitpicking? I don't know who you're accusing of nitpicking. I need to know if there's anybody out there nitpicking about my work. I need to have a talk with them, because those are my nits to pick, baby. Alright, so we're just going to add in some of that old Mr. Woodgrain. Make sure that the kind of, add a little bit of schmutz to the bottom of the bed there. And we're just going to do this wood grain thing again because it's so easy. I need to develop some sort of texture brush for wood grain. I have a texture brush I use for stars, which is just blobs of white basically, but I use that pretty much in every Starbarians cartoon I do. When I do backgrounds, I just throw in some stars. And I need to get one for wood grain. I've got one for leaves, I've got one for bricks, but can't really use it because bricks are always, going in perspective. But it's a good way of I can just quickly stamp a load of bricks into the background and then use the like a warp tool or something to fix the perspective. So something like that to add a little bit of interest there in the wood grain, and something like that. And we're going to do the same on, in fact, we're going to do the same on this one here. Just add a little bit of this in. A mutant one where there are two notches in the wood kind of next to each other, like twins. And, okay. Okay, alright. Okay, so I'm gonna now on this part of the bed just sort of do like the kind of the opposite in a way, just to make sure that there's a little bit of detail on this side. Something like that. Doesn't look great. Actually, I should have probably still taken... Yeah, let's just go in with a darker brush and actually put in a little bit of detail in it with a darker brush. And... Okay, alright. Okay, that's good. Okay. Alright, so that's pretty good for that side of the bedpost. Whatever. And now we're starting to shade here. I said I wouldn't shade yet, but it's too tempting when you've got kind of a brush that works. And now I'm gonna go in actually with a clean. No, we'll still add. Okay, sorry about this, guys. I'm getting hung up here. And we're gonna add just a couple of light streaks, and then that is the bed, the wood grain of the bed detailed. I'm sorry, I can take ages doing this sort of stuff. That's why when I say I need an actual texture brush for the grain, that would really help me, I think, because I can just Take way too long doing this. It's nice doing it on live stream though. Thank you for joining me today, because the nice thing about doing it on live stream is, other than the chat, which is somewhat of a distraction, there's really not that many distractions. I can't go on Facebook or Twitter, because you'd see if I go and bullshit around anywhere online, you'll see a lull in the productivity. You'll go, Harry, why is your pen not moving on the screen? So it keeps me honest in a way, which I quite like. Alright, I'm going to try and do one right down the middle there, so we don't have such a hard seam. And probably another one there. Although what I think would be cool actually is, let's get a really solid dark brown brush here. And just sort of take that edge off like that, see, so that the join of the bed there doesn't quite look so severe. And I'm just gonna very kind of casually with yeah, I'll do it with just a dark brown, maybe overlay. I just want to sort of make them, whoop, that's way too dark. I want to make just the middle of the wood kind of a little darker, and then highlight the edges slightly. Does that kind of do something like that? It'll do, pig. And then lazily come in with the overlay, maybe? No, with the dodge. And select highlights, I think. No. What do I want? I probably just want this color again. This color I keep forgetting I have. And let's make sure that we're sort of hitting the side of the bed there. And that's probably going to be okay. And now I want to come in and again kind of introduce some of that randomness to it again. Just let's take off a few little areas so it's not perfectly straight. And then we could go in and actually hit some of those. This is fun actually. I really like adding kind of little bits of corner damage to areas. So sort of hitting those little bits with highlights there, because you know they sort of had chunks taken out of them. But if we get a nice dark tone here and sort of put like a divot there in the corner and come in with a highlight, it sort of looks like, I don't know, there's like a little chunk taken out, like there was a wood knot right on the corner. You're not going to see most of this stuff because the background just goes and excludes it all anyway, or occludes it all I should say, but it's kind of fun. Anyway, well, it looks okay, this bed, I've over detailed the bed, damn it. Now it's starting to look like it's 400 years old, which, you know, it's definitely a creative choice you could make deliberately, but it probably wasn't what I was going for. However, guys, that's okay. Don't worry, the shadow and the lighting is gonna be added, and it's gonna make it look quite a bit better. So, oh, you guys said Oni was here. Oh, Oni was here, and I didn't say hi. Shit, man, I didn't see him at all. I love Chris O'Neill, man. He's my guy. I'm embarrassed that I didn't say hello to him, but I've not paid great attention to the chat. So, let's see. We're gonna inverse, and I'm just gonna drop a bit of shading. Actually, I'll send him a DM later, and I'll let him know that I didn't do that on purpose, because I would never willingly ignore him. He's a very special guy. Despite what people on Twitter say, he gets so much crap. He gets so many crazy people going after him. Poor guy. Alrighty, so that's fine for the wood of the bed. Now let's go in, and this is supposed to be the ugly mattress. And man, do you see any of this BS? Tell you what, guys, let's do a little preview, shall we? Let's go save as, and we're gonna save it, and we're gonna put it in the cartoon. And I'm actually gonna see how much detail I need to do on the bed, because I don't think I need to do all that much. It's basically all hidden. This is not a finished background, by the way. Even if we don't need to do the rest of the bed, we're gonna have to. We'll do shadow underneath, and we'll do some sort of focus effect. But oh, Terranium copied and pasted it. Thank you, man. Terranium copied and pasted Oni's message into the chat on our Discord, the exclusive Discord. These poor people paying money to be part of the Discord from Patreon. I feel like it's not enough of a reward, but I try and check in most days, and I think I've been pretty good so far this week, basically checking in every day. So way to go, me. All right, so we've got our shot here of the boots getting put on. Boots. There we go. We're gonna pull in our background that we just spat out of Photoshop, and we'll see how we're looking in terms of where the kind of detail is, and that's sitting on top of the animation. That's not good. Walt wouldn't like that. We'd have to reshoot the whole thing. Okay, so the animation is going to be sitting on top of the background. That's the way you do it. And let's just turn that off actually for a second. Okay, so something like that for the background. Let's make it. Oh, I can never get the backgrounds to be exactly the right size. See, they're always like, always just a little bit off. There's probably a way you can get it to automatically fit perfectly in the center of the. See, now what have I done? Why is it too small down there? Fucking thing. Okay. Oh, come on. What is it? That's gotta be it, right? That's gotta be good enough there. Just don't want any little ugly white lines. There we go. All right, so that's our background. This big brown sludgy mess over here is going to be the bed sheet. So that's looks weird to me. It looks like the bed is too high, maybe. The bed is like. Yeah, I don't know if I like the wood grain is too big. It looks like he's in an old Hobbit tavern or something. The wood grain is so cartoony. Oh god, yeah, I don't like that very much. I feel like stretching this leg of the bed down is gonna make the bed feel like it's a bit taller, maybe. And then I can kind of put the shadow down here. In fact, why don't I just drop the bed a little bit? Because what's going on here? If his legs... Yeah, I'll drop the bed. I could stretch it, maybe. This always happens. This is why you should plan your cartoons. Okay, alright. Let's figure this mess out, alright? So, hang on now. We don't see... I could just split it here and drop it down because you kind of don't see. Nah, I'll just fucking stretch it. Stupid bed. No, that's not what we want. We're gonna stretch it out like. So that's sort of more in line with. We'll fix the perspective just a little touch. Okay, so this sort of thing here, and then I'll grab this leg. You know, we make the background slightly bigger than the resolution of the film just so we can play with it like this and not worry about, you know, effing up too badly. So that's got the leg. I feel that that's going to work better for the shot. You know he's sitting on a bed. You saw the bed earlier. It looks weird that it's going off the side of the screen, but there's something about this that just feels, it feels a bit miniature. Like he's giant. The bed doesn't feel big enough. People are asking where the other leg is. Screw you guys. You. Yeah, this is the thing. Wait, what's going on? No, that's not the right image. Yeah, don't worry. I'll put another leg back there. I mean, it would be probably about here. But you know, this is good. So what we'll do is I'll copy that. I'll copy this layer. How do you copy layers in Photoshop? What the heck? Why is this so? Why is? Oh God, whatever. I'll just copy that image, and I'll paste it. I'll paste it in place, and then we'll have one repeated layer back here. And you guys can have your extra leg, and no one will know. You happy folks. See, there's an extra leg there now. And we'll just get this dark color, and we'll color it in. Overlay? No. Let's just do dark, and we'll just... It's way too dark. What am I doing? And we'll just make sure that that has a little bit more shadow kind of on it. Alright, so I think that works okay. Maybe not, maybe it's too dark. Oh boy. Alright, that's good. So how much do we actually see? Let's now render this one out, because I think that's a bit closer to what we want. And and then I'll know how much detail I have to put on the bed sheets, because, you know, I don't want to be drawing tons of folds or anything if I can help it. Hey guys, sorry, looks like we've got maybe some stuttering problems with the stream. That's probably because I'm saving Photoshop files and going back and forth while on live stream. My computer's it's had some difficulty lately with the lag, just in general, even while not streaming. So hopefully this is okay. Let me know if the lag persists, guys. Oh, it's skipping again. God damn it. That's not cool. Okay. Okay. Yes, Noiseverse. I will be adding shadows in the finished cartoon. You know what? I think saving the Photoshop file is causing the lag for the stream. So let me know if the stream lag persists, and I can try to. I'll refrain from doing anything too demanding on the computer, or I'll have to end the stream early, which would be a shame. Okay, so yeah, okay, so it was just the actually exporting out of Photoshop is what fucked it up. That's good. That's good to know. Alright, good, the lag went away. Oh gosh, okay. I was worried there for a minute. I thought that to end the entire stream. Okay, so yeah, we basically don't see any of the bedding, just a little corner. It's mostly the grey mattress that I want to work on, so let me fix that first of all. Where is it? Where's the beef? Where is it? So we'll just get a dark tone. Let's be real lazy like, just something like this. And while I'm doing that, guys, I'm gonna try and catch up with Joyce, because it's now been 2.5 hours nearly since her phone call started. I want to find if it's wrapped up yet. Honey, Joyce. Man, she's still on that. She's still on the blower. I'm not going to make any jokes about women, because I would never do such a thing. You know, being on the phone all day. She's not, you know, she's not like that at all. It's just that, you know, the person that's called her wants to talk for a good long time. She is actually she's positively antisocial. She likes to just wrap up any kind of interactions with other people as quickly as humanly possible. Let me see. I might call down. I don't think she's hearing me, because even if she's on the phone, she'll probably call back to let me know. Let's put like a little gross stain on the bed. That's always fun. Just a little let's just do like, first of all, let's like add an actual bulge, kind of like it's wrinkly or something, just something like that. Something like that, so it doesn't quite. Hang on. I should just pull it with the liquefy tool, but I'm nervous now about overtaxing my machine, and the liquefy tool, when you push and pull shapes, it actually can be quite demanding for the machine. Now I've made a pig's ear of it. I need to use the blur tool to fix that. Oh, that looks rough. Okay, now we go. Just select another color, try and fix it. Okay, whatever. Totally not worth it. Okay, so. Oh yeah, a little nasty, like rank stain on the bed. Just tiny, very tiny stain, just to let folks know that we're here, and when we mean business. Let me see, like a darken, and probably shouldn't. I was gonna make it a naughty color. I probably won't. I'll probably just make it kind of a, almost like he bled on it a little bit or something. Okay. I don't know if that's not really necessary. Maybe we will make it a naughty color. Maybe it'll be like a yellow or something. Just a little gross, like. Oh yeah, there we go. Just like a unwashed. You don't have to do anything foul in your bed to get a brown stain. Just sleep in it for long enough, and eventually it kind of goes brown. You know I'm speaking from experience. Okay, guys, I'm going to be right back. Going to be right back with you, and we'll finish up that bed blanket in a second. Bye-bye. Be right back. Sorry about that, guys. So just as I came downstairs, Joyce got off a phone call, meaning that we can eat soon, meaning that I can go soon. But that's okay, because we're nearly done with this silly background. I'm sorry that break was longer than I expected it would be, but had to go and do some real world stuff. Alright. I looked in my wallet too. I was like, do I have enough money to order a pizza? Cause guess what? I like pizza, but no, I'm not. I don't have enough money really to get a pizza, which I know it sounds like bullshit, but trust me, it's not. December was a nightmare month, but nightmare month in terms of catching up with bills and stuff. It was a nice month otherwise, because Christmas and stuff, you know. Anyway, how much of this silly blanket do you see? Because I don't want to. It's literally just that tiny little corner. Okay, so if it's on the white area, it's just this bit. Jesus, excuse me, excuse my language. All right, so we just want to basically just do something there, just so that people, you know, just so it's not a solid color. It's just around here, just like that. All right. Alright, there we go. There we go, just something like that. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. And now I'm gonna get the Kyle's spatter brush and just like put some schmutz on it. I don't know, it's like a nasty old blanket. Actually, I like this brush. I should have used it earlier, because it's a nice way of just really quickly adding a bit of texture to the wall. In fact, is this working? What is it? Oh, because of the select tool, I see. Yeah, just add a little bit of that texture back into the wall, because it's a good way of doing that. Okay, breaks it up a little bit. Alright guys, so basically the background in terms of the flat colors is totally done. As you can see, there's like a sort of a hint of shading, but generally things are all very soft and evenly lit. And you know, you don't necessarily want that, you know. Sometimes you want to actually go in and kind of, you know, mix it up a little bit. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to add a little bit of lighting, but then otherwise I'm basically going to be gone. So I'm not going to save and render the background into the shot because it's going to cause lag. We'll do that at the end of the stream, and you'll have to tolerate the lag for me if that's okay. Where's all my Patreon money going, asks Terranium. Rent and bills and boring stuff, unfortunately. I wish it was going to toys. I did get some nice toys for Christmas from Joyce, but I feel like that was money that her parents gave her, so... she treated me very well, actually. I got a bunch of monsters from the old Hercules TV show from the 90s. So, they look very cool right now on my shelf. Very happy with those. Anyway, so yeah, I want to... Let me see. I want to have kind of a dark vignette in the corners. Something around this side of the bed to sort of, you know, show that he's sitting on it and he's causing a shadow. And then a shadow under the bed. So I'm going to open up... I'm going to keep everything in focus for now, but I imagine I'll unfocus part of the background later on. Maybe the box and this kind of corner of the wall will be out of focus. But for the time being, I'll keep everything in focus. And... I mean, don't get me wrong, Patreon has been absolutely amazing for me. Like, this is a project I'm working on right now. The reason I'm doing this is because I can, because of Patreon. Patreon is the sort of enabler. It's the giving me the freedom to go out and do something. I know this looks ridiculous. Don't worry, we'll fix it in a minute. It's been the thing that's allowed me to you know, work on my passion projects. And this cartoon is not, you know, it's not a thing for Bethesda. It's not advertised or sell a game. This is a complete from Harry's head passion project, which I'm very, very fortunate I get to do. So that's awesome. But it does mean that, of course, you know, it's not like I'm rolling in it right now, which is okay. because I get to do the stuff that means the most to me. And even if I was a millionaire, I would be doing this right now because I just want to make this damn cartoon. So we're going to add a drop shadow under the box. That was something I was meaning to do. Just kind of something to sort of anchor it there to the floor. It's not looking good though. It's not looking good. I just don't like the way that's coming out. Something like that, basically. We just want something that's going to make it look like it has something about it, but here's something. That's good enough for the box, I think. And that's also going to be something under the bed here, I think, is necessary. Which we talked about doing before. Maybe on this back wall. And two, kind of some sort of burn effect, I think, on the ground to make it feel like the bed is sort of anchored there. Something like that. Maybe that back leg actually could be a little tiny bit darker. Where's that back leg? It was on the layer, I swear. There we go. Okay, something like that. Sort of feels a little bit more. Okay, it's that closer to actually being set in. That's kind of nice actually with the stuff at the very bottom. I like that. Okay, and that too. Okay, cool. And now I want something in the corner over here, but I think I might put that on a separate layer. Just want kind of a vignette. Is that behind the bed? Yeah, it is. Yeah, just a sort of a vignette type effect that is gonna sit actually on top of the stuff with the broom and the box. Something like that. It's a bit too... Oop! Fuck that up. Made it on the same layer as the box and the broom. Alright, here we go. So, duplicate it, maybe make an overlay layer and diminish it again, because I just don't want it to be super obvious that I'm trying to make it look like a spotlight, but I am trying to make it look like a spotlight, so not really. I just want a kind of hazy. I like framing the action, and the action in this one is kind of vertical. It's a boot quickly being put on like that, so I want this area here to be the brightest, and then this corner over here to be darkest, and this corner over here to be darkest, to kind of frame that action up in a nice way. And I feel like that's sort of what we're getting. Hey, a very generous super chat from Comics Tropes. Oh man, super chats now come with little animations. That's really cool. Hey Figment, thank you for coming by. Really appreciate you dropping by and being your lovely self. Thank you. And thank you for the animation of the fist bumping pair. The fist bumping exercising pair, Comic Tropes. That's absolutely your avatar now in real life. That's how I assume. That's the appearance that you have mentally you're mentally going to take in my mind now. A fist bumping exercising pair. All right, so let's throw. I just still feel like this leg of the bed is a little bit. Still needs some sort of highlight or something. And then I think, honestly, we're pretty much done. The only other thing I want to do is kind of where his butt is around here. I want to add a little bit more of a shadow too, because I feel like he would be casting a shadow. Of course, he's sitting on top of his bed, So I want to do something. Deselect. Oh shit, no, we want deselect, we want inverse, and now I'm just gonna basically leave kind of something like that, I think. So he's sort of darkening the area that he's sitting on a little bit. And on the bed too here. This is bothering me. I just want to go in and casually kind of darken this up a little bit. And then guys, we're done with this background. I may want to play with the values a little bit after the stream. Like I'll go in and I'll maybe brighten or darken some areas. I've made it basically all in layers, so I can kind of get away with doing that. And a couple other things, maybe I'll play with the softening, some of the shading, maybe, or a softening, kind of like blurring elements out so that the stuff that's further away from us is less in focus. I'll take a look and I'll just sort of compare and contrast a few different things. But yeah, I think that's basically... Is that area visible? That, like, where the thing... Nah, that's not even visible. Harry, you wasted your time. Okay, so this is going to lag for a little bit, but I'm going to quickly save, and then I'll be right back after the save. So let me save that out, and it'll lag terribly for a minute. Oh, okay. It's still at 94%. Haha. Oh, come on. I'll check what Oni said, Terranium. I'll check it out. Hey, okay, looks like we're back. And cool. Yeah, I'll check out Ota King's next project for sure. Hey, thank you very, very much for your compliments, Beanlight and 80. Really appreciate it, guys. It's definitely good to go, although we've not even seen it in context yet. So let's take a look. Let's go to Control L and I'll replace the file, update it, and it should update in just a second. There we go. Okay, so just for some context, got the first shot here of him putting on the jacket. Let's zoom in a little bit, Harry. Okay. Haha. This is the shot here of him putting on the jacket. And then you got the shot of him tying on the gloves. Zip. And then boof, putting on the boots. Isn't that a famous song? Putting on my boots. Shitting on her tits. Alright, so I like it. I don't like the shadow back here. I feel like this is just a big ugly gradient. So I'm gonna cut into that a bit more, create more of a kind of a bright area here and then a dark area over here. So I'll cut into that a little bit, and like I say, I may play with the blurring out and kind of making things look like they're in different focuses. But other than that, I feel pretty happy with that as a quickie background. It was very quick, and I think it'll do the job just fine. So, hey, thank you to everybody who came by today. Thank you for our generous super chatter, Comic Tropes. Gregor, you caught the end of the stream just in time. Thank you, dude, for coming by. There's the background again for everyone without the animation layer on it. But I'll tweak it a little bit more. Like I said, I don't quite like that big solid gradient in the background. But yeah, it's okay. There's an ugly white line there at the bottom, which disappears when I zoom in. That causes deep fear in me, deep anxiety, because I can't really tell if it's there or not. But yeah, everyone, really appreciate you coming by, and I will check over in the Discord Terranium and see what Oni said. All right, everyone, thank you very much for coming by and checking out my little stream today of my crude little background. I will catch up with you all again in the future. Take care. Bye bye.